everybody, what's going on? How you doing out there? It's me, Victor Serrao. Now, I want to talk about a general topic of making a change in your life. Yes, change is very beneficial, but it also can be very detrimental. If you make the right choice, the change can lead you to some sort of success in your life, but if it's detrimental, that is, if you make the wrong choice, then you could have a lot of negative consequences happen. And the thing is, you want to make a change, okay? You don't know if you're gonna lead to success or you're gonna lead to failure, or you might just be in the middle. But you need to make a change. You have to be brave about making a change in your life, whether it be where you live, the friends you deal with, the family members you deal with, your state of mind, just your lifestyle. You should always be flexible. Be flexible in your life. Don't be scared to move on to something new. Now, the reason I bring this up is because I have a friend, a friend of mine. She's been living in this apartment, and it's a nice apartment. She's been there for like about 22, 23, 24 years. And she's always had to pay low rent. Now, the area she lives in is an area of Miami called Miami Springs, and it's a very nice neighborhood. But she pays below average rent. I mean, her rent is very, very cheap. Now, the thing is, she got very comfortable, okay? She lived there with her husband, and then he passed away, and she still stayed there because of the memories and the cheap rent. Now, I told her, I said, look, it's not gonna last forever. You better just find another place to live, because eventually the real estate values are gonna catch up with your rent, and your landlord's gonna charge you a lot more money. She didn't listen to me. She didn't believe me. She just said I was being negative, and I just wanted bad for her, and I didn't know what I was talking about. And I said, look, just make the change. Find a cheaper neighborhood to live in, and you'll be a lot happier. Cheaper neighborhood, cheaper rent. She didn't listen to me. Her landlord is jacking up her rent by at least a good $500 per month, okay? In gradual steps, of course. But within about a 4 to 5 month period, her rent's gonna be increased by $500 per month, and she's gonna have to pay even more. Okay, so now she's upset, she's depressed, she's worried, but she never took my advice. I told her, I said, change is good for you. Just keep it moving. Don't be stuck emotionally to any situation. Like where you live, I know you have memories, I told her, but those are just memories, those are just emotions. You have to look at the reality of life. The reality of life is that things change, situations change, everything changes in life, okay? So, you have to be fluid. Your mind has to be fluid. Mentally and physically, you have to adapt to change. If you don't adapt to change, bad things could happen, okay? Never be rigid in life. Everything changes. I had to change. I lived in Brooklyn years ago, Brooklyn, New York. And I noticed that there were new people moving into the neighborhood. The real estate values were going up. The rents were getting jacked up. And I said to myself, let me find somewhere else to live. I had to leave Brooklyn. And I moved on to live in Miami. Miami was cheaper. And the weather is better in the winter. It benefited me more. If I stayed in Brooklyn, what could have happened? Who knows? I could have been homeless. Or I could have been living in worse conditions. Maybe I had to live with other people Who knows? Sleeping on somebody's couch because I can't afford the rent. I would have been suffering if I stayed in Brooklyn. But here, I'm doing good. But even so I'm doing good right now, I know that things could change, and I have to be prepared for that change. Relationships change. Your old wives, your old girlfriends, your old lovers, you change them. If things ain't working out, you change them. You don't stick with bad relationships or even good relationships, because those can even turn bad. Always keep it moving. Your friends. You might have friends that are really good with you, cool with you, but then they can change on you too. People change. We all change. The environment changes. Mother Nature changes. Everything changes. Technology changes. I mean, if we didn't change, good example, if we didn't change, we'd still be riding the horse and buggy instead of cars. You see, people, never get stuck in the same situation. I have a next door neighbor. She's been with her husband for 20 years. He's sick. She doesn't even love him. His mother-in-law doesn't like her. Yet she sticks with him. She takes care of him. But there's no love in that relationship. She's only in that relationship because out of guilt. She goes behind his back and messes around with other men. She's not happy. I told her, just leave him. But she goes, oh, I've been with him for 20 years. I can't do that to him. But you're not in love with him. You don't have no real relations with him. You're with other men. Just leave him. Somebody else will take care of him. As cold as that sounds, it's the truth. The truth is, you move on to newer pastures. You move on to newer lands. You move on to better waters. You have to be like water. You have to be fluid. I got that from the 48 Laws of Power. But it's true. Always change. Recreate yourself. Recreate your life. Keep it moving. Anyhow, people, it's me, Victor Serrao. That's all I want to say. And thank you for listening to what I have to say.